So yeah, I am been a big wrestling fan for a decade, and just I don't know, it's just something about watching wrestling. It's just so special, like just so cool. Like the characters themselves, they're just so cool names, like The Undertaker, Kane, Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, John Cena, and just so much. Like oh my god, it's like the characters' names were just so freaking cool. And even when I got fully into WWE and I've been watching like SmackDown and all that, even though that I got into them, I never know much of the other wrestlers. Like I known about John Cena, Undertaker, Kane, and all that, but I never known about CM Punk, Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, or The Shield. Yeah, I never known any of those guys, and The Shield, I totally remember looking them up, like looking like the each of the three wrestlers, like Roman, Seth, and Dean. The biggest highlight for me was Dean, because I remember as a kid basically looking Dean Ambrose up, basically learning that he was in FCW and all that. It was, if you do not know what FCW, it was basically like, it was kind of like NXT, except before NXT, kind of. But yeah, it was just so, it was actually really very interesting. But then I later discovered about his older past before he went to WWE, when he was known as Jon Moxley. And well, fine to say, that was my introduction to CZW. Yeah, I'm not joking. That was my introduction to CZW, and I remember was like, whoa! Like, oh my god! Like, it was just crazy. I was like, oh my god, like, there's a show that they can rip their skits like that? Oh my god, it was so crazy. Oh man. Yeah, quite a story. So I am a total big old fan of wrestling. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be asking me, have I ever been to an actual wrestling show? Yes, I actually have. Three of them. Two were indie shows, and the third one was a WWE pay per view. And that one I'm going to save to the end because that one is very special to me, and just I'll definitely tell that the ending. The first one that I went to, the indie show, was also very special to me because I met a very cool legend that we'll be talking about. All right, so the indie show I went to was hold on, what was it called? It was called Night of the Superstars Pro Wrestling. It was located, I think, somewhere in Virginia. I forgot where it was, but it was just really cool actually. Like I met so many wrestlers. I saw Kevin Nash. I saw Jake the Snake Roberts. I saw all that. But the man that I totally remember want to see the most was Mick Foley. Now, meeting Mick Foley was the most coolest thing ever. Now, I don't have any pictures of him and me, but I actually do have his autograph. Yep, this right here. And it was actually really cool because this was in 2013. This was when he became WWE Hall of Famer. And this man was the first hardcore wrestler that I've ever discovered. Then later I discovered RVD, I discovered Sabu, Taz, Raven, and all that. Like all those legends and all that. It's just so cool. Like this man right here is one of my inspirations of QDEV Radical. Basically inspiring me to do those crazy kicking moves. And there was an episode one time that actually did the elbow, the the move that Mick Foley does, and I learned a very powerful lesson. Don't do it on the books because I remember my arms getting hurt when I put the books on top of the pillow. Okay, one, two, three. Got it. Yeah. So that was my very first wrestling show I went to. It was an indie show. My second indie show was back in 2015 or 16, and that's when we met Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat, I'm not gonna lie, he was so cool. I don't know, I don't think we actually have pictures of me, dad, and him, but he was just the nicest guy I've ever met. Like he was just so cool. Like he was like very, very cool and just nice. Like I love Ricky Steamboat. And the matches were so cool. The main event, I forgot who was in it, but I remember Gangrel was in the main event. And it was so kind of hilarious because I remember everyone was just booing on him. And I remember Gangrel, he was just looking at the crowd, it's like, show me some respect. I was like, oh my god. It was just so funny. Like, oh my god, it was the most funniest part of the whole show. Oh my god, it was so a blast. Like, oh man. So yeah, so that indie show was also really cool. But the very special one that I basically want to talk about was my third one. And like I said, this was a WWE pay-per-view, and this was Clash of Champions of 2019. This was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and oh my god. I remember hearing that it was going to come to Charlotte, North Carolina. I wanted to see it. I was like, oh my god, I want to see it. And my dad got the tickets. We originally were supposed to, going to sit in the back. That's where the ticket said. But then what I remember, I think something happened to see. I think they had to put the camera in the seats that we were going to be sitting. So they put us into the front. And oh my god, it was so cool. Oh my god, my dad actually got pictures on his phone. Oh my god, it was just so cool. I saw all those wrestlers. I saw like Braun Strowman. I saw Seth Rollins. I saw Roman Reigns. I saw Luke Harper, because Luke Harper returned in the Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan match that I thought was actually pretty cool. And just, oh my god, it was just so freaking amazing. But the moment that I'm going to say it's the most craziest, most over-the-top moment that I remember was like, oh my god, was the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Now this was kind of during when basically the Fiend was new and all that stuff. He debuted it in SummerSlam and all that stuff. And for a while, he hasn't been doing all of his, attackings and pay-per-views. He usually does his attackings on Monday Night Raw and I think on SmackDown, I think. So I didn't think he was ever going to show up. But then after Seth Rollins beating Braun Strowman, out of the freaking blue, the lights came out. And out of the blue, the Fiend. I was just so shocked. I was like, holy crap. And in fact, I actually got footage. Check this out.
Holy crap! Oh my god!
Oh my god, I was freaking out. I was like so spooked. I was like, holy crap. Like I did not expected he was going to show up. Oh my god, it was just absolutely insane.